Welcome back, YouTube. So it is time to talk about student loans again and how Biden is probably just another political scammer. And we're getting into those details. Now, you already know I owe just over $26,000 left of my student loans. I haven't paid them off yet, but I have been saving during this time of whatever they call it, like payment pause or whatever, interest rate pause and all that. I still been putting a little bit of money to the side for this very purpose because I did not believe that the Supreme Court was actually going to allow Biden to forgive these student loans, nor do I actually believe that Biden actually gives two F's about actually forgiving the student loans, and I'll discuss why as we read into this information. So this came out obviously back in June, but I want to talk about it because I want to really talk about what it means and why I think it's really kind of a scam. So, ensuring support for borrowers most at risk. To protect the most vulnerable borrowers, the department is creating a temporary on-ramp to protect borrowers from the harshest consequences of late, missed, or partial payments for up to 12 months. So basically, he's saying that for the next 12 months, they're not going to report anything to the credit bureaus, so it won't ruin your credit over the next 12 months. While payments will be due and interest will accrue during this period, interest will not capitalize at the end of the on-ramp period. So previously, the way that interest rate worked on student loans was it was basically a I don't remember the actual term for it. Oh, compound interest is the actual term. Basically, if you owed $100 and you paid if you paid the principal payment and the interest, you'll be fine. But if you didn't pay the whole principal payment and interest, you would get more interest. And the next time the interest capitalizes, it will capitalize on both the principal and the previous interest. So that is how your payments basically, well, not the payments themselves, but how the entire debt balloons is because that interest is also being charged on top of the interest that was not paid. So that to me is a positive thing. Kudos to them for fixing that. I think the real bigger solution that they needed to fix was the actual amount of interest, meaning it should not be 5, 6, 7%. It should just be like 1%. If they would have brought it down to like 50, like 0.50% or 1%, then we could really talk. But keep going. Additionally, borrowers will not be reported to credit bureaus, be considered in default, or referred to collection agencies for late, missed, or partial payments during the on-ramp period. Future monthly bills for borrowers not enrolled in an income-driven repayment plan will be automatically adjusted to reflect the accrued interest during those months. Okay, so here's the issue. If you don't pay these student loans right now, or start paying them right now, they will not report you to the credit bureau. But that does not stop the credit bureau from knowing that your debt is accruing. Like, they're not going to give you a demarcation on your report, but it will still indicate that your credit, like that your debt is increasing. And that affects your credit score regardless of the report from the person that you owe, meaning like the federal government or Nelnet or whatever loan service provider or whatever they're saying, because that's exactly what's happening during this forbearance period, the 3 years. The credit bureau knows you owe the money, and each month it's saying on time payment because that's what the debt owner is saying on time, fine, good standing, right? But what happens when the 12-month period is over? You're gonna owe all the interest on top of the principal as well. So that's why I feel like it's kind of a scam, because we're talking about 12 months, which lines perfectly up with the presidential election. Like, come on, like, these politicians cannot write better stories. Like, they literally can't help themselves from putting every timeline in in a political situation. It's the same thing that happened with the Supreme Court case, running up right alongside like the previous primaries. It's like all this stuff is happening, and they're using your debt and your emotions in order to further their own interests. So personally, I don't think it makes sense. So now it's saying, okay, borrowers who can pay should do so. I think you should pay if you can, because it's not really going to benefit you to wait on this and accrue more interest and take more time, because the forgiveness, as they point out in other sections of this report, is not going to work unless you make payments. Like, the forgiveness thing is not going to work. And right now, yes, they're lowering the time that you can get forgiveness to 10 years, but that's just for people that owe less than $12,000. Borrowers who can pay should do so. Yes, I also think that if you can pay this, you should probably pay it. But I think it's interesting that this administration has like kind of divided the different type of taxpayers based on like demographics information, because they separated us now by income, by loan type, by asset. Like they've divided our income driven repayments into so many different types based on like the type of person you are, which I think is nice, but at the same time it can cause a lot of confusion. We can look at it together here, but to me it doesn't really make sense. And then the last paragraph basically says borrowers who can pay should do so, but this on-ramp period gives borrowers who cannot make payments right away the necessary time to adjust, enabling them to ultimately make their monthly payments and meet their financial obligations on their loans. So basically, to me, it's kind of like an extension of the student loan forbearance thing, but with the interest, which to me is scary. It doesn't really make sense. So I think that if you can pay it, you should absolutely pay it, because I guarantee you, once that election comes around, he either wins or he doesn't. If he doesn't win, you can kiss this whole student loan thing goodbye for real. If he does win, you can continue to kiss that goodbye, because slowly but surely they're going to put you in another circus and make you feel like you're going to get forgiveness, but you're probably not. And all you're going to be doing is wasting your time collecting interest, and at the end of it, you're going to get nothing for it. Personally, I'm biased. So if I had the choice, I would be like, hey, you see how you're giving forgiveness to all these special interest groups? Can I get a special interest group for people who were able to get Pell Grants? Like, just give forgiveness for people who receive Pell Grants. Because the people who receive Pell Grants were the lowest income people when they applied for college all 4 years. So I think Pell Grant recipients should get automatic student loan forgiveness. That's all I'm saying. That's a biased take, but I think my overall main take is that the interest rate should be lowered across the board for everyone. All right, so now let's get into my student loans and try to work out some type of plan. Because like I said, I saved some money, but I didn't save $26,000. All right, so when you get onto the Nelnet dashboard, which is my provider person or whatever, they let you know, get ready to pay. So September 1st, interest resumes on regular interest rates. 3 weeks before your due date, we send you the monthly billing statement. That's right around the corner. October 1st or later, your first payment is due. My favorite thing of all these, so forget the rest of it, enroll in auto debit for a 0.25 interest rate reduction. Now that is a big important thing. We should all be super interested in that. I understand that not everyone could enroll in auto debit because they can't afford their monthly payments. But if you can, you should probably do it. Review your payment amount. Next. Tell us your situation. 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 T basically give you a payment, income driven repayment. You can get a payment as low as $0. But remember, if you get the $0 payment, the interest will accrue. About repayment planning, this card displays your repayment plan or repayment status. Okay. View your loan summary. Yeah, this is my loan summary, y'all. This is how much I owe to the people them. My profile, mind your business, and loans. Okay. So this is basically what your loan basically looks like on the COVID, pandemic forbearance status. It's not accruing interest, but if you notice, like, all these interest rates are like super duper different. So when you look at principal balance, accrued interest, I accrued I did accrue some interest because back in 2019 I decided to do the $0 repayment. Inconsequential, because literally a few months later the pandemic happened and I never made another payment after that. But like I said, I did save some money on the side. So this is why I really want to say, like, it doesn't really make sense. So if you go and you navigate like the, I think, repayment options, you can navigate to, the calculator, and that will bring you to the student federal aid site, and they will basically tell you everything that you need to know. And right up top, you have the because legislation passed by Congress, the student loan payment pause is ending, interest rates resume. They're trying to get everybody up into that safe plan, man. They're trying to get everybody up in there. So we're going to look at our options as, regular common folk with regular income. We are going to see what we can actually do. Let's see. Loan simulator. So in the loan simulator, you can find different payment types or what situations or whatever they try to give you. So I want you to guide me on the best strategy and which things apply to me. I do have a job. I do file taxes. I do save for retirement. I do pay health insurance. So yeah, continue. I do file as single. Okay, and next step, let's do the average yearly salary for a Black American, about $40,000, give or take. How much do you expect your income to grow by each year? Let's be for real, 3%. Like, continue. How much do you contribute? Well, everyone should be contributing to their Roth IRA, so we're gonna go ahead and just claim we're contributing $6,500 to our Roth IRA every year. How much do you pay in health premiums? Let's say we pay $1,000 for our health premiums, blah blah blah. Okay, now they open up my student loans all over again. You have 9 loans. Yes, y'all, I had 9 loans. I used to have more. As you know, I paid off 2 of my Perkins loans a few months ago in the beginning of the year to get that out of the way, because those did not come with forbearance. We were not allowed to stop those loans at all. So with this, they give you a paid off date, and average interest rate is like I paid $1,144 into this balance because I did owe more before, and the average interest rate is 4.2 because obviously you saw earlier that some of them are 1%, the others are a different percentage. That's because they were taken out at different years and the interest rate changed each year, and kind of half year too, during college. So you have 9 loans. Would you like to see repayment options if you maintain eligibility? No. Actually, yes. Let's see that because I know some people. I plan to work for state government. Wait, nah. Let's say federal because I would rather work for the federal government, but I will probably never do it. What's your primary repayment goal? Pay off my loans as soon as possible. That is my primary goal. Based on your selections and overall repayment strategy, and assuming you meet eligibility requirements for public service, this plan will pay with this is the plan with the fastest payoff. Monthly payment $0 to $16, total to be paid off by July. Wait, I'm confused. Based on your income and family size, the monthly payments are limited to 10% of your discretionary income. Good option for seeking. Holy crap. I did not know this was a possibility. So it says as long as you're PSLF eligible, you will pay $0 to $16 a month until 2033. I think that is a reasonable plan. If you ask me. Let's view and compare all other plans. With the other plans, with the real regular pay plan without the public service loan forgiveness, you actually be paying $89 to $128 a month, and you would pay $12,872, and your payoff would be July 2033. I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the PSLF and show y'all the real spiel, because most people will not qualify for PSLF. So if you don't qualify for PSLF, the fastest payoff would be March 2032 at an income level of $40,000. The total you'll end up paying is $31,617 and a monthly payment of $304. You'll have zero forgiveness. You should highlight the zero forgiveness because, let's be real, you're gonna have zero forgiveness, and I know it hurts. Most of us will have zero forgiveness. I have a feeling I'm gonna have zero forgiveness. I don't see it happening. But let's compare the other plans. So if you do the graduated repayment plan, you can go ahead and pay $32,000, around the same, not much different. Still paying off in 2032 though. So we're talking about another basically 9 years. If you do the income-based repayment plan, you're gonna go ahead and pay almost $39,000, and that's if there are no hiccups, and you get to pay that off in 2040. So basically you'll get to pay off that right around the time when AI and robots have taken basically all the jobs, but you'll be out of debt though. That's where you're gonna be at. The regular pay plan without the PSLF, you'll be paying $29,000, and you'll get forgiveness of almost $16,000, and you'll pay it off in March 2042. Now, the reason I wanted to show you guys this is because all these plans and all this stuff, they work in like a perfect world, right? Where you never get fired, you never get laid off, you never break a leg, you never get into a car accident, you always pay everything on time, you always have the money to do it. I think in order for you to actually reasonably choose a plan, you really have to go into these fine details and figure out what are the stipulations, what happens if I get into a specific type of plan and I miss a month. Am I no longer eligible? Because that's the issue that we ran into last time with the public service forgiveness stuff, and the Secretary of Education decided, yeah, no, we not forgiving y'all. Y'all paid religiously for 10 years straight. We not forgiving this. We don't care. Like, and that's one of the issues that we run into with like presidencies and the fact that we change presidencies, because realistically Biden cannot be president for more than another 4 years. If we have another president, a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't really matter. I don't really see much of a difference between them. But if we have a different president, they can change these policies. He just changed the policy. So clearly they can change things. So clearly, if you are banking on this plan to work for you for the next 20 years, it may not work for you. So it's really hard to hang your hat on something that can be so unstable as a presidency or a legislation or a policy, because it's just going to run away from you. But the thing I really want to point out, this is fire. This one, see, save based on your income, family size. But here's the thing. Notice that all of these payments up here where you actually have to pay, most people qualify for this. Most of these, you're coming in well above what you owe. Like at least almost $10,000 more than what you owe. And then okay. So if you look at this pay repayment plan, right? I make $40,000. That's not my real amount. I just threw that in there. But I make $40,000. If I get into the pay program, I'm paying either $89 or $182 for my last payment, right? 10% of my discretionary income. I'm going to pay $29,000. Cool. So I'm only paying $3,000 more than what I initially owed, which is not that bad because you're stretching over almost a decade. And then they're saying the forgiveness amount is $16,000. No, you just call that not charging interest. Like, why don't you just say that to begin with? Because you're saying you're forgiving me, but I only owe $26,000. So how are you forgiving $16,000? If I owe 26, I pay 29, and you're saying you forgave 16. You're basically just charging it to the game, but you're not just gonna say that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So let's view the ineligible plans. They won't show me the numbers for these. So yeah, these are the options for someone that makes average salary in America. We can also change some of the information. They made this my adjusted gross. We can change some of this. And let's say someone that makes 6 figures, because I think the limit before that he made was, let's say someone makes 100, I think, what was the limit? 125,000, I think it was the limit. So let's say someone does make $125,000 under the Biden administration, what they can expect out of this. So if you make that, you can actually pay off your student loans in the next 3 years and pay around $800 a month, and you'll pay 28,000. To me, that's a winner. That's a win. If you make, over $100,000. I don't know if it's worth it to drag it to March. Let me respond to these. Income contingent repayment, ICR plan. I remember seeing this one. Based on your income, family size, your monthly payments are generally limited to 20% of your discretionary income. Good option for those seeking PSLF. This is all very interesting. If you're ineligible, if you make $125,000, you are not eligible for the income-based repayment. You are not eligible for the extended fixed repayment plan. This plan allows you to pay a fixed monthly payment over an extended period of 25 years. Not a good option for PSLF. Pay as you earn repayment plan. Based on your income and family size, your monthly payments are limited to 10% of your discretionary income. Alright, so all in all, I don't really feel like the plans are that bad. But at the end of the day, you still have to decide, like, what makes sense for your life financially. Because you have to remember that we're working based on, my student loans, which is only $26,000. A lot of people have, like, twice that amount, 3 times that amount. A lot of people got 4 times that amount. A lot of people was in the 6 figures of debt. And I think if you're in the 6 figures of debt, it might actually be worth it to drag it out and get a massive amount of forgiveness. If you are low income, I think that makes the most sense. But if you're high income and you have a high amount of debt, there's no winning for that one. There's no winning. But if you're high income and you have a lower amount of debt, like around the amount that I have, there's really no benefit to not paying it off as soon as possible, because you're just gonna pay more. And with a high income, you have the opportunity to save a lot of money, and you have the opportunity to actually purchase a home or pay off other debts like a car or medical debt or any other type of debt that you may have. So we have some time left, so people need to really read up on all this stuff, because to me this one doesn't look too bad. The save one, it actually looks not too bad. But if we look at this long term, 20 years forgiveness amount. Yeah, so it gives you the disadvantages of this save plan, which are basically you must recertify income and family size every year to stay eligible, even if your income and family size hasn't changed. Now that's going to be tough, because every time it changes, your payment is going to change. Payments are recalculated each year based on your updated income and family size. Unlike many IDR plans, your payment could exceed what it would be under a 10-year standard repayment if your income is high enough. Your spouse's income and loan debt are factored into your monthly payment calculation only if you file taxes jointly. So if you're married filing jointly and your significant other also makes a bunch of money, they gonna expect you to pay all that. They're not waiting on y'all. But at least they also count the loan debt. You may pay more over the life of the loan than under the 10-year standard repayment plan. Monthly payment. Pay less. You can reduce your interest rate by. Definitely gonna try to do that 0.25% lowered auto debit. Might as well. Total paid, not that bad. I'm telling you, it's not that bad. If I made $125K, wouldn't be that bad. Forgiveness amount, 0. Eligibility, basically all the loans are eligible except for the Parent Plus, and yeah, anything involving your parents, that if your parents took out the loans for your student loan stuff, then nah, they don't care about that. How do you apply for the save? You contact a loan service provider, which mine is Nelnet. Hope that never changes, because for my end, Nelnet is always up to par as far as keeping my information in order and keeping it straight. I've never had any problems with them in that regard. But yeah, it looks like everyone has a lot to think about in the next couple weeks as far as student loans. If you have student loans, you have a lot to think about. You got a lot to do. You have a lot of reading to do. But if we're being honest, a lot of people have not logged in to their student loan service provider, and they're not going to do it maybe until they see the bill, or maybe till the day before that joint is due. They're not going to log into it, like, because people like to put things on the back burner, especially things that make them uncomfortable, things that get them worried, because people don't want to be stressed. We're living in a very stressful time period right now, so no one wants more stress, which is understandable. But what I've learned throughout my life is that when you put things off, yes, you won't be stressed now, but all you're going to get at the end is an accumulation. You're going to get a big bang. Rather than getting a couple pebbles thrown at you now, you're deciding you're going to take the whole rock at once. And some people operate better like that. I do not. I like to plan things out. I like to know where I'm going. And if some things happen along the way, I'll adjust. But I don't like to stumble around and, navigate in the dark. I like to have a plan all the time and try to figure out everything right away and get as much information as possible, because this information is a lot easier, in my opinion, to digest when you're not under the fire, like right now. Like, you're not under the gun right now. It's getting close. We're pushing it. It's getting very, very close. But as of this exact moment, we have time. But that's all I got for you. This was a very long stream. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll have some updates for y'all as soon as those first payments roll in. I'm going to tell y'all what I actually ended up choosing and what I'm going to do. And you guys can continue to follow me on that journey of paying off these student loans, man. It's crazy out here. Peace.